You know, in the tech world, clarity is everything, right? Your code has to be logical, precise, structured. But what about your English? Today, we're going to dive into a couple of really powerful tools that'll make your technical writing just as clean and professional as your code.
So take a look at this sentence. I'm sure you've seen something like it in a project proposal or an email. You kind of get the idea, but something just feels off, doesn't it? It feels a little unbalanced, almost like there's a bug in the language itself. So what's actually causing that error?
Well, here's the thing. Professional English has its own syntax, just like any programming language. And when your code follows the right syntax, what happens? It runs perfectly. It's the exact same with your writing. When you follow the right grammatical syntax, your ideas come across with total precision and authority. But if you break that syntax, you risk creating confusion, and that's a critical failure in any technical environment.
So, how do we debug our writing? Where do we even start?
Well, the first and most important concept we need to talk about is something called parallel structure. Think of this as the foundational rule for keeping your sentences balanced, logical, and just incredibly clear.
At its heart, the idea of parallel structure is all about matching forms. It's really that simple. Whenever you connect two or more items in a list, using words like and, but, or, each of those items needs to share the same grammatical pattern. This creates a kind of natural rhythm that makes your writing sound way more professional and just easier to understand.
So the key takeaway here is consistency. You connect a noun with another noun, a verb with another verb, a phrase with a matching phrase. For example, you'd say, the platform supports analytics and automation. See? Two nouns. Or, the new API is powerful but complex. Two adjectives. Keeping that balance is the secret to making everything clear.
Okay, let's look at that syntax error in action. On the left, we've got a mix of verb forms. Planning and testing are one type, but then it switches to to document. It totally breaks the pattern. The corrected version on the right is so much better. It uses documenting, so all three items match perfectly. It's just clean, efficient, and sounds way more professional.
All right, so once you've got the basics of parallel structure down, we can level up a bit with something called paired conjunctions. These are absolutely fantastic for adding emphasis, presenting really clear choices, or just drawing a sharp connection between two ideas.
Think of these like special tools in your communication toolkit. Both and is great for linking two equal things. Not only, but also is perfect when you want to add some real emphasis. Either or frames a choice perfectly, and neither nor is how you negate two things at the same time. And guess what? The core rule is exactly the same as before. Whatever grammatical form follows the first part of the pair must match what follows the second part. So you'd say the system is both efficient and scalable. See? An adjective, efficient, comes after both, so another adjective, scalable, has to follow and. It's that consistent.
Here's a great example. Using not only but also really emphasizes that this dashboard delivers on two key things, how it looks and how it works. We're connecting two parallel adjectives, attractive and practical, and that creates a much stronger statement than just saying the dashboard is attractive and practical. Okay, now here's one little rule that can be a bit tricky, so pay close attention. It's about subject-verb agreement. When you use either or neither nor to connect subjects, the verb has to agree with the subject that's closer to it. So in that first example, the plural developers is closer, so we use are. But if you flip them around, the singular manager is closer, so now we use is. It's all about proximity.
Okay, so we've connected single words and phrases. That's great. But in our technical reports and documents, we often need to link entire ideas, right? Complete thoughts. This is where we start connecting what are called independent clauses.
So what in the world is an independent clause? Don't let the name intimidate you. It's just a complete thought that could totally stand on its own as a full sentence. It's got a subject, it's got a verb. For instance, the team completed the testing. That's one. And the manager approved the release. That's another one. So to join two of these complete thoughts into one smooth sentence, you just have to follow this super simple protocol. It's 4 easy steps. Write the first clause, add a comma, pick the right connecting word, and then write the second clause. This structure is absolutely essential for clear and professional writing. Now, if you ignore that protocol, you get this, a classic syntax error known as a comma splice or a run-on sentence. Just sticking a comma between two full sentences isn't enough. It makes your writing feel rushed, and honestly, it shows a lack of precision, which can really undermine the credibility of your technical work.
And look, here's the easy fix. By just adding that little coordinating conjunction and,
Right after the comma, you create a proper logical link. The first action leads to the second. Now the sentence is grammatically sound, it's logical, and it's so much easier to follow.
These connecting words are so important, it's worth knowing the 7 main ones, and there's a really easy way to remember them. Just think fanboys. That's for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Each one has a specific job. But shows a contrast, so shows a result, and for explains a reason. Picking the right one is key to getting your exact meaning across.
All right, we've learned the syntax, we've gone through the rules. Now for the most important part, deployment. How do you actually use these tools to make a real difference in your day-to-day work?
Honestly, these structures are the absolute backbone of good technical communication. You're going to need them for describing features, writing clear bug reports, creating software documentation, comparing systems, the list goes on. This isn't just about good grammar. It's about preventing misunderstandings that could be really costly.
For example, when you're writing user instructions, using either/or presents the options with perfect clarity. Upload a file and enter the data manually are perfectly parallel phrases. There is zero room for the user to get confused.
Or think about when you're evaluating a system. Using but lets you give a balanced expert opinion. You're acknowledging a big strength, it's powerful, but you're also highlighting a critical detail. It needs careful configuration. That's the kind of nuanced communication that really builds trust and makes you sound credible.
When it comes right down to it, mastering this syntax is really about boosting your professional impact. It sends a clear signal to everyone, your team, your managers, your clients, that you're not just technically skilled, but you're also a precise and organized communicator. It's like a certification of your ability to think and communicate with total clarity.
So I'll leave you with this one question. You spend so much time and effort making sure your code is clean, efficient, and logical. Isn't it time to apply that same level of discipline to your communication? Because in our field, how you explain your work is every bit as critical as the work itself.